risk is a rhythm. Patience. A sound. I breathe.
Yeah. Afternoon stream, let's get it. Neon on the mic, yeah. Neon stepping in, yeah. Session wide awake. Night shift laid the ground. Matt set the play. Now it's midday money. Structure on the screen. Neon seeds acting holy, price moving clean. No FOMO typing the channel mode. We learned that lesson back in 24. Half gap buys when the market dips. DD bands bounce and we let it rip. Bulls on flashing like a warning light. If it's not a line, we let it slide. Patience, heavy, discipline, sharp. Room full of killers, but we play the when the clock strikes noon. Liquidity rising, feel that boom. Calm hands on the play, red to green, we pivot that way. The room shows up. Yeah. The room shows up. Yeah. Yeah. Volume builder, feel that shift. Market makers tryna midday drift. Fake break high, yeah, we seen that move. Liquidity pocket, we approve. Wish fan blowing when the entry's tight. Stops place clean, risk held right. Not gambling candles, we stacking skill. Consistency over chasing thrill. Chat moving steady, no chaos here. Green heart emojis when setups clear. If we win together, we lose composed. Trust the system, the blueprints close. Yeah, yeah. The room shows up. Yeah. The room shows up when the clock strikes noon. Liquidity rising, feel that boom. The room shows up. The room shows up. Calm hands on the play, red and green, we pivot that way. The room shows up. The room shows up. The room shows up. The room shows up. Silence when the setup phones. Heartbeat with the market stones. One clean entry, breathe, don't rush. Midday pressure, but the room shows up. The room shows up when the clock strikes noon.
What's up, fam? What's going down? We here, baby. Let's get it. The room shows up. Zill from Finland, Martin K, Lee Trader, Keegan, Dogpedia, Mr. Alice, Mr. B. Allison, Day Trading Wolf, Mike H, Joshua, everyone's in the house. That boy Cheesy, Perry Dalla, Cool Kill, It's Burn Trades, Full Port NQ7. What's up, fam? What's going down? Welcome to the Neon Cucumber Show. Welcome, welcome. What's going on, everyone? Let me get my volume turned up a little bit. Oh, why it's so quiet? How's the music volume for you guys? Should be good. Smash that like button, guys. Welcome to the show. Let's see who else is in the house. If you've been here before, you know what to stamp in chat. If you're new here, type in chat where you're from, where you're tuning in from. Our family's growing. Guys, I'm excited. I got a little bit of a new layout so I can see. I have a little strip on the side of the screen, so I think I might be able to, because sometimes I think I miss things questions, because I was watching back chat yesterday and I think I missed a couple of questions. So hopefully I'll be able to interact with chat even more today. Egypt, Renzo's from Egypt. What's up, Renzo? Somebody B, I know it's not your first time here. Matoski's in the house. Eaton 10. TNQ78, I don't think I've seen that name. Jesus Leon. Mafia Gaming. We got a lot of people in the house. What happened to the music now? There we go. Let's go up here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Something, hold on. We got a move going, hold on. What's up, guys? Some sort of catalyst right now. NASDAQ MHP. Look at this sudden sell-off at 130. Must be a tweet. Oh, 6. How volatile is that move, really? Let's see. Not too crazy. Let's see here. Some sort of catalyst move that there. Arizona. I mean, we're in a liquidity pocket on NASDAQ. All right, guys. Let's go lights on. Welcome to the show. What's going on here? Lights on. We're lights on. Muchunu from Dallas. Laru, thank you. Sir Darb created that intro. Here we go, right back into liquidity. Samuel, welcome. Alright guys, today we're going to be going over why I was risk off this morning, flat position conviction, decision quality as a real performance metric, creating your own approach to the game, and then we got vibes and giveaways. So we're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I just want to mark out some levels here on this move, just to make sure visually on the chart I can understand what's going on. Let's see. 80 points.
Don't move your stop, but I doubled down again. And I just can't stop. I clicked the buy, I thought I'd win, but MHP just broke again. A catalyst.
Naruto said I should make my seats public so you can all build baby trees. That's funny. Iran has threatened to strike the U.S. West Coast with offensive drones in retaliation for American military operations, according to the FBI. I thought they can't strike the West Coast. Let me open up my Twitter. Just to get things started. Let's open it up here. I had a couple of tweets this morning. I kind of planned to be risk off going into the session. I had an inkling I'd want to be risk off. Let's open up Twitter. Control Center, Brave Browser. There we go. All right. So, going into the session, this was before I even looked at the charts. This morning at 7:53 a.m. I said I haven't looked at the charts yet this morning, but CPI today, adding to the mix yet another catalyst for the session. I feel like market participants are in for a hard to read session. I expect low liquidity today. Big players may not be betting. Right, because we're kind of in the middle of this new range that's been developing. So I thought, maybe we're just going to rotate in the middle. We have been. I would say the only issue is I really got to lean on decision quality as my performance metric for today. Not necessarily that I was right to sit out, because the levels were actually, my level interactions were pretty clean today. The chart did respect levels pretty well today. So I don't know, like if I had participated more in the morning session, I think I would have had a great morning session. But yeah, I'm leaning on, okay, decision quality as the performance metric. So I'll get to that and what I mean by that. I took a screenshot of the levels going into the open. I posted this right at the open. So the levels you see on the chart, right? Those were appeared on my chart last night. So they've got good interactions today. And if we scroll up more, right, my morning wrap was pretty much, I took a tiny shot long. I stopped out and re-entered on a reclaim. I couldn't trade it with conviction. I went red, then green. And as expected, I can't find my edge today. And you could see my accuracy was, why is it not showing up? Oh, there we go. Sorry, the Twitter wasn't showing up. Let me scroll back down. All right, so these are the 2 posts I made. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to kind of see what I post before I talk about it on stream. All right, I posted my levels and then just posted a screenshot of the P&L and kind of the curve for the morning. I was only active for about 10 or 15 minutes. The reason being, I couldn't trade with conviction. I just went into the session thinking I was going to be risk off, and I took one little trade. It was a little whippy. I managed risk okay. Ended up green, just barely. Could have easily ended up red, and that was the morning, right? And then I wrapped it up. I went for a nice walk. I was, relaxing under a blanket, just taking the morning off. It was great. I got a blanket right now with me. I'm in kind of comfy mode today because I pretty much took the session off. So why was I thinking to be risk off? And this all ties into flat position conviction, right? Having conviction that you're saying, you know what, my edge may not be present. I should stay flat or at least be risk off. Decision quality as a performance metric, right? Because sometimes you make a decision, and if you say, okay, I'm making a quality decision, you have to be somewhat outcome independent and just trust that over the long period of time, putting effort and making quality decisions will pay over the long term. The reason I say that is because today is an example where I chose to be risk off, and looking at how well the levels held and the action I see on the chart from today, I would have been just fine if I was risk on this morning. I would have been just fine. Everything would have worked out really well. So I'm saying, well, what? I made a quality decision. I put thought into that decision, and I weighed the pros and cons. I weighed what I think about the action in the market, and I said, this is what I think for today's session. Looking at the chart now, I would say, from a trading and a level hold standpoint and a clean session standpoint, it was probably not the right decision, but the decision quality was still high, right? So if I put effort into those decisions over a long period of time, generally speaking, the average outcome of those is positive expectancy, not negative, right? Usually when I sit out a session or when I'm risk off, most of the time it was the right decision to make. Now, one other thing I want to talk about, which ties into, being risk off, but it's actually this is a valuable lesson for anyone who might struggle with like making decisions under pressure. And what it is it's not a lot of people talk about it. I haven't really seen anyone talk about it in trading, but it's cognitive sequencing, right? The mental process that you go through when you're executing a trade, and most importantly, what I'm about to talk about is when you're in a trade. Because when you're in a trade, and in this case, the example I'm going to talk about today is that I was in a trade. Let me just show the executions. This was on Lucid. Okay, yep. Okay, so if you look in the top right corner of the screen, if you look in the top right corner of the screen, Okay, this was my trade. Now the area I want to focus on, right? It was a long side trade. I took an initial entry here. I took some profit. And then as it started to move towards my initially planned stop, I started to add that back because the tape was showing that we wanted to have an up move. But the thing I want to focus on most, and this is the cognitive sequencing part that can make a huge difference in people's trading if they understand this concept of cognitive sequencing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a box around here. These two executions. Why around these two executions? Because this is right as the trade came to the stop area that I had planned to exit that trade. My thesis was long, okay? Now this box is drawn right around the place that I was looking to stop out of the trade if I was wrong. So what happens is, right as you get to an area of interest, it might be the area where you're thinking about exiting. It might be the area where you're thinking about entering the trade, okay? Something happens. When you've got plenty of time, your decision-making window is large, right? So you have a certain amount of mental processing going on, and you have plenty of time to make that decision. When you have to make a decision, and this comes up in trading all the time, when you have to make a decision, but your time window for making that decision is crunched. In this example, you see this box. This was my stop area. Something happens in the brain. Okay, you're experiencing high cognitive load, right? You need to process quickly. You need to make a quick decision. But also at a point like this, when you're right at your stop, you're also at the point of maximum risk, right? So it's high cognitive load, decision pressure, and it's decision pressure under risk. So there's a mental sequencing thing that goes on. And when I grasped this concept, this probably wasn't that long ago. It was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. It made my decision making at these pivotal moments much cleaner. And I'll tell you what that cognitive sequencing is. Usually, before I made this change, it would be, okay, I'm at the point of maximum decision-making pressure in a trade, right? Whether it's the apex of getting in, or most importantly, when it's the apex of where I should be getting out. So that's the point of maximum cognitive load for decision-making, and it's also the point of maximum risk. So usually it's think, process, try to decide if you should take the risk off or not, if this is the moment to take the risk off. You're making the decision under pressure, and then you say, okay, I should stop out, or no, I should stay and see what happens. So there's a sequencing change that people can try, and that is trim first, read second, right? You flip the things. And what happens is when you're at the point of maximum cognitive load and you're at the point of maximum risk, right? The brain chemistry is under pressure. So if you instead of read and then make the decision to trim or get out or not, right? I have it in my head. Trim first, read second. Because when you're reading the chart and that pressure is taken away, your brain processes the information differently. So trim first, read second, right? So if you see at this point, if you look in this box, I exercised that. I got to the point of maximum pressure in the trade. Also, maximum cognitive load. I need to make a decision now. Is it going to move a couple of points more against me? Is this really where I should be stopping out? Is it about to dump 30 points? But I don't go through that whole process under high risk. I trim first, I read second. So what you could see here is this red, this is me trimming the position way back. I think I might have exited the whole position. Trim first, then I read, then I say, nope, this is not a good place to stop out. I need to give it a couple more points. So trim first, read second, I put the trade back on, right? But if you think about that, right? In practice, the way that your brain reacts when you do something like that is completely different, because you're able to read the chart and process the information differently once you've trimmed the position. So like I have it in my brain. Trim first, read second. When I know that feeling when I'm at maximum pressure in the trade to make a decision, to make a pivotal decision, trim first, read second. And I read and I said, okay, like the risk is off. I say, no, this trade is still good. Put the risk back on. But I was reading that action at that stop area under a completely different mental process, right? Because the sequencing is different. Trim first, read second. Not read and then decide if I'm going to trim. Because I'm deciding, is this the point? Is this not the point? Reading the tape. I'm doing all that under pressure while still under risk, right? So I took the risk off, read, right? So hopefully that helps someone out there, because it was pretty game changing for me. It was pretty game changing for me. So I got that idea from a psychologist, actually. You know, just like talking about performance and the game, and you know, some of these feelings I get when I'm under maximum pressure in a trade. And you know, I learned it's a cognitive sequencing thing. And you know, with that performance psychologist, we came up with together, trim first, read second. And it changes the way that you think around those pivotal moments. Right? So hopefully that helps someone. I've never heard anyone really talk about the cognitive sequencing like that as it relates to trading. But I don't know. To me, it was really good advice. All right. Let me scroll back forward on the chart here. Laru said that one, you didn't understand that one? Laru, so in short, when you're under decision pressure in a trade, sometimes it's a better idea to trim the position, then evaluate the chart, then put the position back on, rather than try to decide if you should trim at that point. Frazier, what's going on? How you doing, buddy? All right, let's see what chat said. Neon, can I please get a dog? My girlfriend's allergic. I would need to get a hypoallergenic dog, and I really like dogs that are, like, I don't know, like I tend to like bigger dogs, so I don't know. I don't think there's any really big hypoallergenic dogs. Joshua said, "Love it, Neon. You watched trading stuff for many years and never heard that. I'm glad it helped, man. I'm glad it helped." Boomer Trader in the house. Namzi Singh said, "Do I mean cut the position and then re-enter again with the right mindset?" Sort of. What I mean is, it's not necessarily re-enter. It's just at that point of maximum pressure in the trade, right? When you're at kind of an apex of decision making, right? Because unless you know, like institutional traders, they can't really do that. Like you can't take off the position and put it back on. But like, you know, an individual trader, you know, trading 10, 20, 30 you could trim that position back. You know, even if someone's trading with 50 or 100 you know, you could trim the position back for a minute while you think. Yeah. So it's just cognitive sequencing, because otherwise you're reading and then deciding to trim. So if you just trim and then think and then re-add the position, right? It's only at the point of maximum pressure. It's a cognitive sequencing thing. I don't know that you'd be able to really research it. Maybe you can. I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. LaRue said, what's the best off-the-strip casino these days? I mean, it depends. I like to play poker, and for me, I like South Point. South Point's cool. South Point's cool. Wow, I'm loving my new chat thing. I can see chat without really cluttering up my screen. Mac Dabrowski said, today's been clean, respecting levels so nicely. It really has. It really has. I probably didn't need to be risk off today. Hey, Jesus, yeah, I live in Vegas. All right. So the third one is flat position conviction. Right, sometimes you just gotta... I live in the suburbs. I live in Mountain's Edge. Sometimes you just got to, you gotta trust your decision. You know, I went into the session thinking it might be good to be a risk off day. I thought it was going to be a little chaotic with CPI. And honestly, the chart, I think to a lot of people, the chart probably does look chaotic. I just think because with Rocket Scooter and in my case with Rocket Scooter and Seeds, like the levels are so good that even a messy session tends to look pretty clean. I mean, if I bring up the 5,000 tick chart, like it moved pretty clean rotating through these levels. I mean, even when we got that morning breakout, I mean, right into a level and then right back down. So, you know, but I had conviction, right? When I want to put a position on, I want to have conviction. And I want to feel the same about being flat, you know? So I had flat conviction today. I was like, you know, stay risk off. Stay risk off. Like, cause I have started copy trading the prop accounts in the last week or so. And today I was like, no, I'm just gonna, I pretty much wanted to be risk off, but I was like, let me just try it with that long. And you could see my P&L, and my stats were off. So here was my P&L. My accuracy was 61.5%. Now this was it was only really one sequence. So, you know, that number, you know, but my accuracy within a sequence like that usually ends up being around 71%. So I don't know. I just felt like I was a little off, and you could see the P&L rotating around zero. And exposure time was only 9 minutes, right? 9:45 to 9:54. So it was only 9 minutes. And then I said, all right, not feeling it. Not feeling it. So that brings me to number 4. Decision quality. Guys, don't forget, we are doing giveaways today. We're doing giveaways. We got giveaways. Don't you worry. We got some exciting accounts to give away today. One of the brands is a brand I've never given away before, so I'm excited for that. All right. So, look, I got my blanket. You know, I'm on my, like, you know, I took the morning off when I got a blanket. I was like watching TV. I was, you know, watching a movie. I'm like, you know, I don't need to. I said I was going to be risk off, and I embraced it. Went for a nice walk. And anyways, so decision quality as a performance metric. Decision quality is a performance metric. What do I mean by that? So, you know, obviously as a trader, you track your accuracy, you track your, you know, your approximate winners, your approximate losers, you track your profit to drawdown ratio. You know, are your upswings a lot more nice and big than your downswings, things like that. But one other stat, now I don't numerically track it, but if you have problems sitting out, or if you have impulse control issues and you kind of say, oh, I'm going to be risk off today, and then you don't, you know, maybe you don't follow that and you're kind of all over the place, as a trader, whether you're new or experienced, one thing you could do is kind of start to kind of track your metric, or at least keep in mind your metric of decision quality as a performance metric. So what do I mean by that? So today I was risk off this morning, right? So the actual outcome, now looking at the chart, and I know myself and I can kind of tell which trades I would have taken. From a pure edge standpoint, that was not the right thing to do, right? My edge was there. I could see it on the chart. I know I would have had a great morning if I'd been risk on, but I was risk off. But I also keep in my mind decision quality as a performance metric, right? Was that a quality decision that I made regardless of the outcome? Because I know if I make quality decisions like that about how I handle my sessions and throughout the year, I know overall they're going to contribute positively to my edge and my stats and my P&L, right? So I thought, was it a quality decision? I'm like, well, I had real reasons for making that decision. I thought we were probably going to be a little bit illiquid in the morning. We were. I thought it was probably going to be a little bit, rotational and maybe difficult to read directionally. It was, even though I had the right inkling in that initial trade about the direction. But I was like, we rotated yesterday. I don't know if today's going to be another rotation day or if it's going to be that we migrate to a new area, right? And I just thought it was going to be hard to read. So even though the session ended up being relatively clean this morning, I still, metric wise, I'm like, I made a quality decision. I just didn't make that decision off the cuff, right? So, I don't know, because maybe that will help people who sometimes, maybe they're trying to make a decision to ease off the gas pedal or stomp on the gas pedal, and then they end up being wrong. So I think maybe sometimes people find frustration in that, but one of the things that I lean on is, well, it was still a quality decision, regardless of the outcome. I didn't just wake up and say, I want to be under a blanket and hang out today. I don't want to work today. It wasn't like that. It was a quality, well thought out decision that I made. So maybe that will help someone. Boosted Dime said every neon decision is a quality decision. Well, I don't know. I took a bad trade last week. I took a trade that was almost 50-50 last week. And I'm still... I remember I made an error last week. The trade ended up, I think I was flat on the trade, or maybe it made a small profit and then I jumped out of it. No, you know what? It ripped, but it was a trade that my edge wasn't really there. No, I make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Smash the like button. We're going to do a giveaway soon. Let's see how many likes we got. I can't see the likes right now. Hold on. I got this new setup here with this new No, Josh Walker. No. I exited the trade. It went in the direction. Josh said I made a mistake last week. The trade made a ton of money, but hey, we're all human. No. I exited the trade. The idea was right, but I exited the trade either small loss or neutral because I didn't have conviction in the trade. No, I'm not. That's not like. No. That. Yeah. 110 likes. All right. So now I've got an iPad. I've got a Surface up. There's too many screens now. I got a Surface here. I got an iPad here. Only because I can't see the likes on the Surface. All right, guys, smash that like button. Joshua V. I know you were just messing around. The room shows up, guys. The room shows up. Laru said, "Do I trade on stream?" Yeah, when my edge shows up, I trade on stream. If my edge isn't there, I don't just press buttons for the sake of it. Let's see what else we got. Dabrowski said it's a good decision because of what we've been seeing the last few days, especially with The Trump tweet we had. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Trump tweets have been moving the markets into nice decision zones. But I don't know. There's a lot of liquidity lower. There's a lot of liquidity overhead. So it's hard to read direction. Wilfredo Rodriguez here from Ohio, new here. The room shows up. Guys, type the room shows up for our new family member, Wilfredo. Welcome, Wilfredo. Welcome to the room. We got 3 streams every day. We got a stream in the morning with Matt, aka Matoski. It's Burn Trade shows up, aka Matoski. He does. He's doing $1 million challenge right now, 100K to $1 million. He's floating between 4 and 600K right now. He's kind of in consolidation in that account. So probably that. I'm assuming. I think it'll probably break out later this week or next week. Right? Counts as a little bit of consolidation. I'm on in the afternoons, and then we've got Sir Darb, aka Brad, on in the evenings. Sunday, he goes on Sunday as well. Sunday through Thursday at 7 p.m. Joshua welcoming our new family member, Martin K. What up, Martin? Eaton. Joshua V said, can you buy calls on Matt's account breaking out to the long side? I mean, I'd take that bet. If you could take calls on that account, I would say, that's an interesting, let me just think about this. If I was taking calls, if I was making a trade, if you could get options for that account balance, I would say, what's today, March 11th? I'm going to tell you the trade I would take. Today's March 11th. Let me look at the calendar. Let's say they expire on Fridays. I would take, for the $1 million account challenge, I would take, what's it, March 11th? I'm more of a short term. I'm more of a short term. Like when I swing trade, I usually try to make a prediction on the next 3 to 15 sessions. Like I'm not holding swing trades for weeks and weeks. So I would probably buy 700. I would probably buy calls expiring on Friday the 27th for the balance to be 700, and then I'd probably buy some 800,000 calls as well. That's the bet I would make. March 27th. Oh, I am liquidity. No. I'm making a hypothetical. Someone said, can they buy calls on Matt's challenge account balance? And I said, if I could buy calls on the challenge account balance, I would buy March 27th expiration 700,000 balance calls, and I would also buy some 800,000 balance calls for March 27th. Because I feel like there's a breakout coming. It's in consolidation right now. So I don't know. That's just my prediction. Whoever said that was cool. Someone said, let's open a poly market. Joshua V said that. Joshua V, that was a cool thought. That was a cool thing to think about. Okay. Let's see what kind of accounts we're giving away today. We're not giving it away yet. We're not even at 200 likes yet. We gotta get to 200 likes before we can do a giveaway. Let's see here. But just in anticipation, the first account's going to be for My Funded Futures, and then the second account is for a brand I've never done before, so I'm excited for the second one as well. It's going to be fun. Oh, no stream for Darb tonight. I see in this little spreadsheet. Darb's off tonight. He must have something going on. Yeah, guys, smash that like button. We just jumped up to 138. We got almost 300 people in the house. Who's new here? Who's new here? Just so I can give a little overview of what's on the screen if someone's new here. If you're new here, stamp it in chat. Let us know. I am the liquidities in the house. Laru, I know you're not I know Laru's a regular. It's Burn Trade's a regular. Ronnie's newish. Spy BH new. Captain Firebeard. Captain Firebeard? That's a cool name. New. Terry Smith. All right, we got a bunch. We got some newer people here. All right. New. All right. Well, if you're new, we got 3 shows a day. I just went through the schedule for that. We do giveaways on stream for prop accounts as well, usually every day. And this is the Neon Cucumber Show. It's hosted on the Day Trading with Matt channel. Day Trading with Matt. So Matt, he is the inventor of the platform on the left-hand side of the screen. It's called Rocket Scooter. Keegan asking about the giveaway. So I'll announce a code word when we're doing the giveaway. You type it in chat, and then we have a random thing that picks a name. And then we have a process to claim it. It's really easy. So, yeah. And usually, people who enter every stream, it seems like we run some polls. People seem to win, like, 2 or 3 times a year. Statistically, that makes sense. Anyways, the platform on the left-hand side of the screen, it's called Rocket Scooter. What it does is it draws high volume tradable pivots at the beginning of every session. And it's a really good platform because you don't have to worry about drawing support resistance and messing with all that. It draws these high volume tradable pivots at the beginning of the session. They're very responsive. And then there's also auxiliary indicators like the one that you see at the bottom. And some of them at the top. One's called DD ratio, one's called RES, which stands for resilience. So those help you understand whether certain levels that are drawn on that chart will be support or resistance. So it's a very powerful platform. Matt, who streams in the morning, right? The morning's the most active part of the day. So if you want to see the most activity around these levels, definitely tune into his stream in the morning. 8:30 Eastern, he goes live. And the other thing that's available is a 20-day boot camp, which he teaches. So it's 20 days, and he goes over not only general market stuff, but he also goes over platform-specific stuff. So there's a whole strategy that goes with that platform. So it's really good. It's a really good thing to check out. And then in the top right, that's my own algorithm that I use. I used it before I found Rocket Scooter. Now I use the two together. So what that is it's simple. Any shaded region is a decision block. That's usually where I initiate my trades around those decision blocks. The gray blocks are stable blocks. And then sometimes there'll be a black line. You can see one towards the bottom. And that's drawn algorithmically. It's a high volume point of control from previous sessions if they're clustered together, right? There's a filtering mechanism that draws them. So that's what you see on screen. I also have velocity meters. I'll go over those later. But those just help me gauge liquidity in the market. But 2 things for now, right? Don't want to overwhelm the new people. Let's see what we got here. Ethan said we're all new. All right, we're creeping up towards 200 likes. We'll do a giveaway when we get to 200. Wait, Jay Reamer, you have a funded next account. You're still trading it that you won in July? Is that what you said? I'm liking my new chat thing. And don't forget, we're going to go over number 5 as well. Creating your own approach to the game. Jason Cruz, you said decision making as a metric is something you need to work on. Been blowing accounts left and right. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're making impulsive decisions. A lot of people have edge, but they don't get to realize it because they take trades that don't have edge as well because they can't wait for their edge to show up. And I think it's easier the more you've traded because then you're not as excited about trading. It's just kind of like, you just do it. It's not like, it's not like an exciting activity. It's just, it's just the job. Like a job I enjoy, but it's kind of, it gets to be more routine. So if you want to have a sit out day because you don't think your edge is, you're not feeling it, you don't feel like you're missing anything. Let me ask you a question. What was everyone's bias going into the session? I didn't have a directional bias. So I'm usually a little bit, like I was reading the tape. That's how I decided to take a long instead of a short at the open. Bearish, down. Laru says down, Eaton says down. Short but unsure. Oh, Alicia Plotky said, what do you do when ES is bouncing above and below MHP? How do you decide which way to trade it? So let me just pause on that question. That's a good question. So how would I decide? Well, I usually, if I don't already, hopefully when we arrive there, I would have already had a bias on what I'm thinking for that level. Because just because we're at it doesn't mean I'm necessarily always going to trade it, right? Because sometimes I think, well, we might just rotate around it, right? Because we're in the middle of a range, which is like right now, we're in the middle of a range. So, and you could see on ES, we rotated around MHP, right? We didn't have a decisive move one way or another. Now, another thing you can do is you could take a look at the hedge pressure resilience and you could see, let's see what, it wasn't floating too high, let's say. Yeah, hedge pressure resilience, like this number can go way up. Like on NASDAQ earlier in the session, monthly hedge pressure resilience was all the way at 63. Right, look at the hedge pressure resilience on S&P today. It's been floating around like 25, 12. So that probably means that there's a close amount of market cap that's above and below its monthly hedge pressure in the market, right? So you can expect probably a little bit less decisive moves around it anyways. See what else we got here. I am Liquidity said short into the fake Trump news candle and then long back in the range, but we didn't get hardly anything. Yeah. I tell you what, right after I exited that trade this morning, we got the move that I was hoping I would get, but that move happened so fast, I was like, ugh. Like, that was pretty illiquid, dangerous move. So I was like, I don't want to get stuck in one of those and have it be the wrong side. I just happened to be on the right side of that trade. But I was already flat, but had I not been, it would have been nice. But what if I was on the short side of that trade, I probably would have got a lot of slippage on my exit. I was only in small size this morning, even on my regular account, so. Tim Korth says, no bias, you just trade what you're seeing. Well, that's good, because then you probably have been doing well in this environment, because you've had to really be nimble with your directional bias in this environment. 158 likes. We do a giveaway when we get to 200. Jesus says short the open. Keegan says, am I Matt's son? No, I'm not. But that's funny. I'm Liquidity said nothing about today felt like a healthy market session, and unfortunately took you a few red trades to figure out. Makes sense. You know, after that trade closed out, let me see what time it closed out. After it closed out, I left. Like, I left the house. I went for a walk, and then when I came home, I was like watching TV. I watched a movie. So I didn't even look at the charts. So I closed the trade at 9:55 a.m. and I didn't open the charts until like about 45 minutes before stream. So, you know, like hours. So I don't really know. I wasn't reading the liquidity throughout the session today. I can gather what the session was like by looking at the velocity meters. Let me see. Yeah, spots, moments of liquidity, and then, but not an overall liquid environment. So based on what I'm seeing, it looks like some, you know, liquidity was showing up, it was going away. It was showing up, it was going away. So a lot of hollow pockets in today's session, based on what I'm seeing on my dashboard. Jacob Packer said, honestly, you felt like price action was easier to read before the open. The night session looked like it was pretty clean. Let's go back. Yeah, the night session was pretty clean. Let me see if I would have got stopped out if I had shorted this level. Let me see. I would have used probably a 67 point stop. I'm just curious how this trade would have worked out had I shorted this level. Oh man, that would have been a nice trade. I would have, yeah. This is my standard sort of geometry for a trade like that. Initial entry, add, stop. So yeah, would have been clean. Sometimes I just like to look at what the level interaction would have been. Like would by my definition the level have held. V Gabber Hugh, welcome. 167 likes. We're gonna do a giveaway when we get to 200. Man, a lot of these levels would have held nicely. Let me see. What was the volatility? Yeah, this would have been a 67 point stop. Let's see. I don't know if I would have got my ad on this. Let's see. Oh man, that would have been money. Damn. Well, whatever. Oh, Jay Dev said, "How do I decide on 67?" No, it's math. It's a math thing. It's a very basic algo. I mean, it's basically just a filtering thing. But I have something I wrote that gives me suggested stops based on volatility. And it's similar to an ATR, but it functions a little bit differently. Does it on more of a micro scale, and then it extrapolates it out into a readable number. But if it's less than 67, usually, you know, my stop, it's not, the stop on the trade actually ends up being around 27 to 33 points, because most of the trade is added at a scale level, but it's 67 points from the initial entry, and it's not always 67. It's just been that lately. But the main portion of the trade, the main leg of the trade, it's not 67 points. It's about half of that. And you can see this morning, look, this morning it was 88 points. Let me see. And let me look at my little, it's not on screen, but I can, yeah, should have been about, I should have used 90 points. I used 88. But you could see, right? There was the initial level, and this one I only really added at the scale level. So the actual stop on this was 43 points. Yeah, I know there's like an online thing with the number 6-7. I don't really know what it is, but I know it's like there's like a video for it. 176 likes. 306 family members in the house. The room shows up. LaRue said, do I average into a trade or just full port? So I vary my execution style based on the environment. I'm equipped and set up and experienced doing both. Sometimes I'll scale into a trade at multiple levels. Sometimes I'll buy a pullback. Sometimes I'll buy a breakout. Like I spent a long time, months, almost a whole year, writing an execution algorithm that reduces slippage for the times that I do get in, like when the market's moved, when I'm getting in with the market. So multiple ways. Gabe said, excellent answer. A politician vote for Neon. It's funny. But no, I mean, there's no right way. We're creeping up to 200. Creeping up. Let's see, where are we? Draw out this level. I'm just curious. 67. See, this decision block is huge, so this is not really tradable to me down here. Yeah, 80 points. That's a lot. Mike H. 182 likes. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm loving my new chat thing. I can see what's going on. Anyone have any other questions? There was a couple of questions yesterday I missed, but... I'm Liquidity said... have you taken many trades on the live channel, or do you mostly do your trading earlier and like before the time slot? I'm most active in the morning. We'll go through times in the market where the afternoon's much more active. So it depends. When my edge shows up, that's when I execute. So like there'll be times where, you know, because I think the stream's only like 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 2 or 3, about 3 or 4 weeks in. Forget when we started, but like the afternoons have just been not that opportunistic for my edge, you know. Like I've seen a lot of like 55, 60%, 55, 60%, you know, but not 65, 70, 75% setups. But yeah, no, I'm definitely, like most traders, I'm most active in the morning. When the levels are fresh, you know. Zill from Finland said, did I ever trade on Project X? How did I find it? No, I don't know what Project X is. I don't know what that is. What's Project X? Project X Trader? I don't know what that is. Is that like a trading platform, like TradingView? Top Step owns it. Top Step X. Flop Step. Yeah, I don't know what that is. If it's a prop only thing, I wouldn't know about it. I'm just learning about all that stuff. Someone said, have I traded with Apex before? No. I've never traded with Apex. TPT and Lucid only. I'm a newbie to props. Have I ever traded on Citadel Markets Pro? No, I've never. No, I've traded. My experience trading is equities, and the brokers I used were Lightspeed and Cobra. I mean, I had an account with Interactive Brokers. I have an account with TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim, but that's really just to have access to the Thinkorswim charts. Yeah, Lightspeed Trader, I use their platform. With Cobra Trading, I use DAS, Direct Access. I forget what the S stands for, but I use Dash Trader Pro, and then Interactive Brokers, when I traded with them, it was for a very short time. I don't think I liked their platform. And then, yeah, pretty much just Ninja Trader. Mutant8 said, is 25 a good point for shorting NQ, or are you just guessing? If you're talking about stop distance, versus profit target, I don't know if that's what you mean. Mutant8, what do you mean by is 25 a good point for shorting NQ, or are you just guessing? What does that mean? Either way, that brought up an interesting thing that you said about it. I don't know if maybe you mean stop distance or what you mean by that. 194 likes. A good point to open a short. Oh. I don't know. I mean, if there was a good point to open, if I thought there was a good point to open a short, I would be opening a short. So, you know, like when I think there's a good place to trade, you know, I put the trade on. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, this line, this is not a pivot that I have on my chart. This just happened to be where my stop was for my morning trade. Right? This is actually like, that's just coincidence that it reacted with that. Or I mean, I guess maybe my stop placement was good. The fact that I got interaction later, but Wilfredo said the best indicator. To me, the best indicator is really a set of things that you can frame and make decisions around. To me, the best publicly available thing is Rocket Scooter. The platform on the left. The levels have edge. There's auxiliary indicators that go with the levels to help you frame them even better. There's a gap resilience indicator, which helps you predict whether a gap is going to close or not if you're trading around the open, the close, and the midpoint between them. So to me, best indicator, like not one thing, but just overall trading, like platform that offers alpha, Rocket Scooter, hands down. Like I'm super picky with making adjustments to my trading game, right? So the fact that I added Rocket Scooter to my trading game, to me, like I know I believe in it. It's good. And it's, I mean, to me, it's like, it's really cheap too, in my opinion. It's like 150 a month, I think. And then lifetime's only like 4,000 or 5,000. You know, so I mean, you know, it'll pay for itself. Like, I mean, to me, it's like pays for itself in less than a trade. So it's a no-brainer. Gabe nailed it. Gabe said, if you're skeptical, do what he did. Get monthly till you go lifetime when you're convinced it's worth it. Save money and just buy lifetime outright if you trust him. So I tested it for 2 months. And after 2 months, I was like, dude, it's like, I'm getting this. I'm getting it. I got the lifetime. No brainer. Easy. Armando Dovilles said 197 likes, almost there. Smash that like button. Armando's said, can I recommend a good trading platform? I gotta say it again. I'm loving my new layout. I feel like I can just see everything without having to minimize, open, minimize, open. Can I recommend a good copy trading platform? I've only been doing it for about a week, but I have, a lot of people said TradeSyncer. I got the Replicanto one because it connects into NinjaTrader. Mike H said, people can get good at AI music and win the song contest? For sure. 199. All right, guys. It's giveaway time. It's time to give away a prop account. Time for a giveaway. And then we're going to talk about creating your own approach to the game. It's going to be an important lesson. It's more of a like discussion point, because I was thinking about it, like a lot of things I kind of think about and do with trading, it's not really stuff I read. It's stuff I just came up with on my own. So I want to, let's talk about creating your own approach to the game, right? You don't always have to do what everyone else is doing. You could figure some stuff on your own that matches you best. All right, 201 likes. Now's the first time in the stream that I got to open up the other browser and cover a chart. But this whole time I've been able to look at charts. It's been nice, because usually I got to minimize, open, minimize, open. All right, it's a My Funded Futures 50K Rapid. Let me open up the little giveaway engine. If you're new here, we give out a code word. You type it in chat, and then you get entered into the little giveaway engine. All right. So stand by. The giveaway engine's about to get booted up. Don't type anything yet. THX, what up, dog? King G-Pack, not George. No, guys, there's no code word yet. We didn't give out the code word yet. Type the room shows up in chat. Fake everyone out. People will probably think that's the code word. That'll be funny. They might be bots, yeah. So, somebody B7... Somebody B71 typed in code word into the chat. That's funny. All right. What am I doing? Comment picker. Paste. All right, here we go. Filter by word or hashtag. And this is funny. The room shows up. We're faking out all the bots. Victor, you're winning. This is funny. All right. All right, here goes with the code word. The code word is, guys, hit the like button. Can we hit the like button? This is funny. Dogpedia said, did I won? All right. Oh, that's great. All right. The code word is My Funded, all one word. My Funded, all one word. Nice. You imagine if imagine if I found a giveaway engine where if someone typed in the code word twice, it would enter them and then remove them from the giveaway. People would only type once, right? And people would be like, did I type twice? Did I not type twice? It's giveaway time. We are giving away a prop account. All right. My funded futures, 50K rapid. Type it in chat. Okay, first of all, let's go over what promos we got going right now. We're doing 2 giveaways today. We got Tradeify, 30% off all accounts when you use code Rocket Scooter. My funded futures, 50K rapids, $97 hairs. Nice. 37% off. Ends March 17th. Elite Trader funding, 80% off non-fast track. 50% off all DTF. All DTF? Direct to funded? I don't know. That abbreviation's for something else. Funded next. 10% off. The futures desk, 60 to 75% off. Take Profit Trader. Take Profit Trader is nice. They're nice. 40% off and initial test refund. And then Phidias, 60% off fundamentals. 50% off 25K static. Static evals? They have static evals? That's cool. And then Lucid's 40% off. This is all when you use code Rocket Scooter. All one word, Rocket Scooter. It's in the header. That's how you lower your risk, right? How do you lower your risk on the prop firm? Reduce your cost. How do you reduce your cost? Use code Rocket Scooter. My dog. Come on. All right, let's figure out the specs on this giveaway account. My funded futures, 50K rapid. Let's see what the situation is with this. My funded futures. Let's see. 50K rapid. All right, type my funded in chat. We're giving away a 50K rapid account. Here we go. It is 3K profit target, 2K drawdown, end of day drawdown, 5 contracts with 10-to-1 mini to micro scaling. So you can trade 50 micros, I guess, with 2K drawdown, which I guess that's like, yeah, that's a lot of size. I always say it because the amount of size that you can trade on these props for the drawdown ratio, it's crazy. But I guess they want you to blow them up. Max drawdown 2,000. Drawdown is real time in the funded. And still 5 contracts. You could still trade 5 contracts. So you can totally get crazy with this thing. 50K rapid. And we are doing another giveaway later in the session as well. Well, 247 already. All right. 196 entries so far. Guys, smash the like button. I see that number creeping up. All right. We are going to give it 2 minutes and 15 seconds. It's Burn Trades. Just nailed. Just nailed it. It's Burn Trades. That was the perfect opportunity for That's What She Said. I said, wow, that's a lot of size. It's Burn Trade says That's What She Said. Very funny. Let's call out some of these names here that we got. We got a lot of familiar names in chat. That's cool. Josh V said that's part of the test that you don't use all the size. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Because I'm sure some people did just say, oh, that's the max size and that's just the size that they trade. I'm sure people do that. Oh, Miracle X said, what's my favorite series? Man, I that's what I watch. I watch series. What We're watching 1,000 Blows right now. It's about like a London boxing. It's set in England. It's like underground boxing ring. It's really cool. I did watch The Beast in Me, Laru. I watched The Beast in Me. That was a good show. That was good. Couple of plot holes. There was a couple of plot holes, but Miracle X. I saw Dexter. I haven't seen Dexter. Dexter Resurrected. I haven't seen the last 4 episodes of Dexter Resurrection. I forgot. You actually just. That's my evening. That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna watch the rest of Dexter. Dexter Reloaded. Yeah, New Blood, sorry. No. Not the one where his son is introduced. I'm at the newest one. Peaky Blinders Goated. They're coming out with a movie. Alright, 51 seconds, 50 seconds. When I started watching Dexter, I lived at my parents' house. What year did Dexter come out? Because I remember watching it at my parents' house. The first ever Dexter? What year did Dexter come out? 2006. That makes sense. Because I would have been, I guess, 19, I guess? 18, 19, something like that. All right, that's time. Let me, we've still got entries coming in. ZZYXS Smoke Shop. ZZYXS, I know it's Smoke Shop, but the first time I read your name, I said Moke Shop, and I stuck with that. It's ZZYXS Moke Shop. What up, my dog? All right, let's get started here. Let me open up the little giveaway engine visual. It's not showing up. Imagine if I had to reset. That would suck, but I don't. Okay. It's giveaway time, guys. In 10, 9876543 1, and pick a winner. Ethan 5884. Oh my god, wait. Does Ethan have Stephen K saying kaboosh? Wait, does it? I think it says kaboosh in his little screen name thing. Ethan K. Is that Stephen Kalajian? Oh my god. Kabooshed. I can do a great Stephen K impression. I won't, but I can. Oh my god, look at the gold go. Look at the gold. Oh, NASDAQ just ran 20 point. Oh, look at the fuck, you kidding me? And oh, look at the silver go. It's a double blue buy. Stephen K, the dude is a legend. I'm doing that impression in, I just want you to know, I'm doing that impression in like good fun. Like, you know, that's an OG. I respect OGs. That was purely a respectful impression. Let me see if this person responded. I got too excited about the Stephen K picture. Oh, Ethan. Here's Ethan right here. Ethan, congratulations. Now you can catch as many double blue buys as you want. All right. Ethan, congratulations on the win. Okay. Hugo, did you short the... What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't... Oh my god. Just forget it. All right. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the link in the description. Go to the link for the Discord. Within the Discord, you're going to go to the contest channel, and within that contest channel, you're going to message the admin name Slacks. And chat, what would Slacks do once he messages Slacks? Does anyone know what Slacks will do? What's Slacks going to do? He's going to hook you up. Chat knows. Chat knows. It's Burn Trade said rigged. Hook you up. People keep saying it doesn't matter. Oh, is that what Steven says? It doesn't matter? Oh my god, look at this. ES just ran 3 handles. ES just ran 3 handles. Ugh. You gotta raise your stops. You gotta raise your stops. That dude's an OG. He's an OG, you know? Nothing but respect. You know, I don't know anything about the guy, but I know he's an OG. I respect my elders.
The rocket scooter reaper.
Oh, I think let me see. I might have. Let me try to get my 100th follower. Let me see. Guys, I hit 101 followers on the Twitter today. I hit 101 followers. Get at me, dog. I'm in triple digits. 5 minutes to Power Hour. We're doing another giveaway in Power Hour. Guys, smash the like button. All right. Let's talk about creating your own approach to the game, right? What do I mean by that? Like, what I mean by that is, at least it's the way I do it, like, I don't always worry about like what everyone else is doing, what their methods are. Of course, when you're newer or when you're developing your edge, you're going to look to others to see what they're doing. Which now being on Twitter and being on the more on like YouTube and seeing what people post about trading, I think for newer traders it's probably more difficult now because there's a lot of really bad information. There's a lot of people trying to take advantage of other people. It's very clear online. Like there's people selling one of the biggest influencers that I saw online sells a course, and it's just about like, it's just there's a lot of people out there trying to take advantage of people in the trading space. It's just very clear. So of course you're going to have to overcome the obstacles of trying to find good information versus bad, but never discount creating your own approach to the game. So I'd say the biggest thing that kind of sticks out to me that I do that I don't know that really, like a big thing in my game that I came up with myself that I try my best to always do is to pay attention to news timing, but not pay attention to news output. So I'm not really swayed by what's in the news unless I accidentally see it. I have noticed with streaming that it's a little bit harder to exercise because people will post what the news is a lot of times when there's a move. Like when there's a catalyst move, a lot of times people will post it in chat, and I'm looking at chat, so sometimes I'll see it. But like in an ideal world, when I'm just kind of doing my own thing, I don't look to see what the news is. I just look to see, like I can tell if there's a catalyst on the chart, and like when there's a rate decision or something, I mark what time it's coming out, so I make sure, you know, I'm not risk on going into some big decision or something. But you know, something like that that I came up with myself, that's a big part of my game. Not being influenced by news, only being influenced by the chart. Because like I might say, oh, you know, sometimes the news, what it would do early in my career is it would give me an overall bias for like what's going to happen in the next 10 sessions. But I'm like, well, but I'm trading session to session. So it would end up hurting me because it would cloud my judgment looking at the levels and developing a bias intra-session. So that's why I adopted that, and it helped me a lot. You know, another thing is like deciding what days to sit out or what days to be risk off. You know, there's no like rule book for decision I made today to take risk off and, you know, barely participate in the morning session. It's just part of my own approach to the game, right? So things like that, I think, like you'll get information from other people, but I think also some stuff you just gotta come up with yourself, whether it's part of your routine or part of your overall game, the way you approach the game, the way you approach the market. So, you know, don't be afraid to kind of do your own thing. There's no right or wrong way to trade. So long as your edge is there and your P&L curve goes up, who really cares? Let's see what we got here. I'm reading chat.
Bulls on bottom, arriba let go. Liquidity pocket, fuego puro flow.
Somebody B71 said you got to start telling people it's fractal. You're an influencer now. I don't know what that means, but I don't know. What does that mean? Oh, Dogpedia. Oh, price is fractal? What, like patterns within patterns within patterns? That kind of fractal nature? I mean, I don't know. The world is fractal. I don't know. Like everything's fractal, I guess. A decision within a decision within this. I don't know. That's probably just that's probably just something that an influencer says to. I don't know. That just sounds like a word people say when they don't know how to explain something. I'm sure that's what it is. It's probably like that. Let me Google what happens when I Google that. YouTube trader folk. Let's see. So what is it? Was it called fractal trading? Let's see what the internet says. I feel bad for people learning these days. If you're new here and you stumbled upon this channel, congratulations. Research, go to Rocket Scooter. Let me see what Rocket Scooter's website is. It's in the link. It's in the description. Go to the Rocket Scooter website. Sign up for the boot camp. Get Rocket Scooter. You just landed on one of the only places on the internet where you can actually find a platform that has edge. Congratulations if you're new. Let's see what the internet said. It says its primary purpose is to provide essential reference points used in price action, ICT, and smart money concepts, allowing traders like that already like okay, what does that mean? Smart money concepts? The fuck does that mean? Excuse my language. Oh guys, it's power hour. It's power hour. Yeah, I that's my first. I slipped up. I said the F word. My bad, fam. Honestly, nothing that popped up seems readable. Like it all seems like just okay. Like like. Here's one. Okay, they use the definition. They use the word in the definition. Fractal trading is a trading strategy based on fractal patterns that traders use to identify reversal. I don't know. This seems like word salad. No idea. Let's see. Yeah, like there's diagrams and stuff. It's just like it looks like candle patterns. So yeah, definitely garbage in my opinion. In my opinion, you know. But I might just be saying that out of ignorance. But it doesn't look like anything that will work for me. Dogpedia said my opinion spot on. It's garbage. Yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. It seems like garbage, but it could be ignorance. You know, it could be the best thing since sliced bread. Although I say since sliced bread, but like the best thing since sliced bread, I would say and next time I use that analogy, I'm going to say the best thing since bread. Because if I go to a bakery and I'm buying a loaf of bread, like from a nice artisan bakery, sometimes they would ask me, I know this is a sidetrack, but just made me think about this, and I'm curious what chat thinks about this. Sometimes they'll say, should we slice it for you? I'll say, no, don't slice it. Because then it's going to start to dry out. I'll slice the bread myself at home. I'll slice it one piece at a time, you know? Anyways. Yeah, slice makes it go stale faster, for sure. One less reach said, you say the best thing since opposable thumbs. Any bakers out there? I'm a pretty hardcore baker. I like to bake. Morrow's asking about MHP. Why do they keep breaking lately? We're seeing a lot of rotation around them because they're high volume areas. So if you're in a non-directional market, sometimes you're gonna rotate around MHP. Just Get It said no, but you play one on TV. So you're an actor who plays a baker? That's cool. Chat's still talking trash about fractals. You guys are great. I love it. We're having a good time. Ryan Wade works for Flower Foods. Let me ask you a question. Do they let their dough actually ferment, or do they use accelerators so that they can bake the bread sooner after making the dough? Marmel are talking trash. What's going on at MHP? It looks fractal, so we can see it. Oh, Ryan, depends on the bread? Okay. When I bake, I use when I bake, I bake Roman style scacciata. It's an Italian style bread. It's very like it's very light and airy. It's very light and airy. I wonder if I can pull up a picture. Pull up a picture. So it's called scacciata, or like Italian style. It's not focaccia. It's much airier than that. I cook with a biga. I bake with a biga. I have a spiral mixer. So usually around 75% hydration. Let me see. How do you bring up Google Photos? Scacciata. Farina knows. Why can't I get to my photos? Let me see. Bread. Let's see what we got here. There we go. This is a cool example of it. I'm just gonna bring up the pictures. There's one. Save image as. I'm saving the little pictures so I can share them with you guys.
That shit a green on the screen.
My favorite kind of pizza is marinara pizza, which is crazy. People never really understand that, but I like marinara pizza. No cheese. Maybe a little Parmesan on it, but that's about it.
Envy in their eyes like I hacked the code overnight. The truth. 9 years in the trenches in the fire. Let's rewind. When the door first cracked open, this ain't luck.
Add a picture. Let's see. Image.
2016, 41, punching in at the office grind. 5 days a week, 9 to 5, leaving dreams behind. Drop 10K straight from the overtime, even Zuba driving week.
Like that.
Stay alive, ramming for dinner, Red Bull for dessert. 2 steps forward, 3 back, felt the universe.
Nice and airy. Light, fluffy. Put a little bit of yogurt on there, a little bit of balsamic, you know? Delicious. Oh, did it pop up? Let me see. Yeah, it popped up. The crisp. Honestly, that's 75% hydration, but I use a Biga, so I get a lot of extensibility out of the dough. Aerodynamic. Yeah, soft and crunchy, exactly. Soft and crunchy. 75% hydration. I use a Biga. I use 3 different flours. Usually 72-hour fermentation, maybe 96 hours. So I'll do that. I make Neapolitan pizza. Morimaro said, do I use volume profile with order flow for trading? And if not, why not? I use Rocket Scooter and I use my own algo. My own algo, I would say the levels probably, like they're volume based levels. The way that the levels are drawn is based on the relationship between price velocity and volume velocity. So it'll sort of identify where there's hollow areas in the market. So I don't use volume profile, but I mean, volume profile is fine. Volume's probably the best way of reading the market, you know? That's why everything Rocket Scooter related and on seeds, it's all liquidity based. It's all around liquidity. PG Contracts had Neo Pizza. That's a good, yeah. Neon Pizza, Neo Pizza.
Yeah, we making it. Ain't going back.
We gonna do another giveaway. What's our other account that we're giving away is for a different brand, a new brand that I haven't done before. Neon Neapolitan. Farina said Neon Neapolitan. Let's see if I missed any other questions. I Am Liquidity said, you grew up breaking focaccia with homegrown garlic and rosemary your whole life, and you're not even that Italian? Focaccia's great. Focaccia's great. Ryan Wade said, when you short, it doesn't go down. Well, we're kind of in a pocket of, a rotation. Like, to me, there's no edge from this particular trading location. Feels like we might close below MHP, but we'll see. Where'd we open? Nah, we both opened above MHP. Statistically, that's probably not going to happen then. I Am Liquidity, you let yourself get chopped out. Yeah, it happens. It happens. That's why I pretty much had to sit out morning. Luis, you and your daughter both love pizza? Nice. Spencer talking about yogurt on bread. Yogurt on bread's not crazy. No, so I take Greek yogurt and then I mix it with balsamic. Like a honey balsamic or an apple balsamic, like balsamic vinegar. Or like a silver DOP balsamic. Balsamic vinegar of Modena. Modena. There was a store going out of sale. They had like 8 of them. 8 bottles. And they were selling silver bottles of balsamic, like authentic, for like a deep discount. I bought them all. So I've been working my way through those over the last few months. AJ Risks asking, on a 25K funded, how I would risk it. So I mostly, the way I've been doing the props is just sizing the trade so that if I had 4 or 5 consecutive losers, which I mean statistically it's like just doesn't, that's so unlikely based on my stats. So that's just how I size them. So like if there's $1,500 to draw down, you know, I'd be like, you know, risk $200 to $400 per trade. That would kind of be how I would do it, because it's difficult on the 25Ks because the drawdown amount is so small. So if you take any scaling approach to trading around your entries, it could be difficult. Ryan, you just got owned. Let's see. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Ryan Wade said, don't enter the giveaway. Oh, Powers said, do I know when Rocket Scooter is going to be updating the history of liquidity maps? I don't know exactly when that's getting released, but I do know that there was a little preview screenshot released, and I think it's at the final stages. Like the fact that they had that screenshot, I don't think it was a mock-up. I think it was an actual screenshot of the dev server. So it's in, I guess it's in internal alpha. I don't have access to it, but do I make cacio e pepe? I've made it before. That's pretty heavy. I like to eat somewhat lean, so. PG Contracts said post my dough recipe. I could post it. The thing with recipes for baking, it's almost all of the recipe is in the handling. Because like all bread pretty much has a very similar recipe. The recipe is more like the handling, the amount of waiting. So Farina, you've been short for 2 hours? Did you get short in the new sell-off? Yeah, Greek cuisine has a lot of yogurt, Farina. Oh, here you go. Matoski responded to whoever was asking about seeing the historic levels. Soon. A few bugs left to fix. There you go. That'll be cool when we have historic levels. Matt in the house. Prosciutto and arugula? Yeah, that's good. Mal Kazar is asking, which would I go for my first prop account, Lucid or My Funded Futures? I only know about Lucid. I don't know all the details of the My Funded Futures off the top of my head. I think Lucid, I don't know, Lucid, the rules and everything seem pretty straightforward. Also TPT, if you're new to prop trading, I think dabbling in the TPT, right? Use code Rocket Scooter. Dabbling in the TPT is also good. They have the 25K accounts, and it's a 1-to-1 profit to drawdown ratio. So, like, if you have edge, it's pretty easy to pass that. Like, you know, there's not much. You just grind it out for a week or so, and you can pass them. Not financial advice, but just that's just my experience. ZZYXS Moke Shop. Asking who Matt is? You know who Matt is. You're a regular. Oh, I am Liquidity saying he wants to fade Farina. That's not cool. That's not cool. Sir Darb's, yeah, Sir Darb's off tonight. I just saw it in the little spreadsheet thing. Yeah, no, so I wouldn't be there. I mean, there's no stream for me to be in chat on. I wonder what he's got up to. He's probably got, maybe he's doing something with his audio-visual company. Church event, yeah, church event. Me and Matt should host together? That would probably be fun. That would probably be a bang. That would be fun.
Rapid challenge, 3 days, green light, legacy uncapped, no cap in sight. MHP breakout, I scalp the pivot. Pickle in the chat yelling, printed. Eval reset, fresh account load. Payout while you watch the green explode. HP spike, I ride the volume wave. One tick stop, no room for the grave. Bad on the mic.
Meddy's in the house. What up, Meddy? DD ratio 0.73. You know what? I mean, I don't. It feels like we're gonna touch 24,800 overnight, and then we're gonna probably open right back around this region. The chart just, to me, the chart kind of looks like it wants to rotate down in this. The chart looks like it wants to rotate down in this volume pocket down here. I just, like, to me, the market doesn't look super heavy, but I think there's some business to be done down here. Kind of feels like it's setting up to go down there overnight and then probably open back up in this cluster F. Yeah, I'm talking about overnight. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna keep a close eye on things. You know, for the overnight. Let's see what levels we got down here. Let me see how wide this is.
Sunrise up, vibes feel nice.
61 points. I know Jason's saying one more dumpy in the close. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's hard to tell, but it feels like it'll happen overnight. It just feels like it'll happen overnight. And we might rotate back up by the open. I don't know. We'll see. If I had to guess, which I know I don't have to guess, but if I had to, I would say we probably rotate. I don't know. It feels like we're going to get down the 24,800 area. overnight. I just don't know that we're going to stay there. I feel like we might rotate back up. Marmo said, why is the market popping when World War III is breaking out? I don't know. Honestly, that's why I just look at the chart and I don't care about the news. I caught a great trade. I think it was Sunday night or Monday night. Something happened and I know there was news, but I still don't know what the news was. I think I mentioned that a couple of days ago when someone typed it in chat, but I already forgot what it was. I am liquidity. You're saying a war is usually bullish for the market, isn't it? So here's the thing. I don't pay attention to stuff like that. And I'll tell you why. Like, I don't pay attention to seasonality because there hasn't been enough seasons that the market has experienced for me to say. I talked about this about seasonality 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, if the market was like 5,000 years old and you had that much data, then I'd be like, all right, let's try to get to the bottom of if the market has seasonality. But the market hasn't been around long enough. There has, the market's brand new in the grand scheme of stats for something yearly like seasonality. So I don't say that there's seasonality. I don't pay attention to that. And the same is like with wars. Like, there hasn't been thousands of wars. There's been like a few. There hasn't been enough wars for me to, like, I wouldn't say if war's bullish or bear. I don't know. So war is usually bullish. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I can't read the news. I can only read the chart. That's just how I function. And that kind of goes back to item number 5 from the agenda. Creating your own approach to the game. Because I learned early in my career, when I try to read too much into the news and what I think should happen, like, I might come up with a thesis to say, I think this is... Okay, perfect example. Last week, I kept saying, I think within the next 3 to 5 sessions, we were going to make it down to 24,200. But that didn't stop me from taking longs, right? Because I'm thinking session to session. But what happens a lot of times is when I develop more of a big picture thesis, like, oh, war's good for the market, war's bad for the market, whatever, that bias of what I think is going to happen on a larger scale, over the next 10 to 20 sessions, 10, 20, 30, 40 sessions, big picture stuff, that bias can infiltrate my fluidity of looking at an individual session, right? But the majority of my trades throughout the year, other than maybe like 3 to 6 swing trades a year, majority of my trades are making predictions intra-session. So that's why I don't pay attention to seasonality, war's good, war's bad. I don't know. There's not enough data for me to confidently say one way or another. That's just, I always had trouble interpreting news. I still do. It doesn't make any sense to me. All right, guys, 3 minutes to the bottom of the 3 minutes to 3:30. Let's do another giveaway in 12 minutes. Let's go here. All right, what are we going to be giving away? Let's see.
One step at a time, I'm heavenward bound.
Gabe said it will affect your profits and how you function if a ship gets blown up, so it will affect the market in that sense. Yeah, but like, then what am I going to do? Like, pay attention? And I got to filter out every piece of news. What companies does this affect? Did someone already know this missile was going to be sent? So maybe someone already positioned themselves for that ship to be blown up. And then someone's like selling the news or whatever. Like, there's cheaters in the game. And I'm like, you know what? After like, probably about 10 years ago, I was like, you know what? I can't find any edge in reading the news. So let me just forget it. And let me just only read the chart. But to be able to manage risk, I always, if there's a scheduled news event, that I know about. right? If there's a rate decision at a certain time, I mark it. I make sure I'm flat or risk off. But I don't even pay attention to what's the CPI. I have no idea. What's the interest rate decision? I have no idea. I don't pay attention. No edge in it for me. All right. We are giving away. I'm excited to say this because I've never given away one of these before. A whole new brand of proprietary trading account. Tradeify. Nice. What's going on? So it's a Tradeify 50K growth. Tradeify 50K growth. I'm going to bring up their website and see what all the information about that account and brand is. But let me just bring up the giveaway engine. And let me reset it. Guys, I didn't even give out the code word yet. For all you know, the code word could be Bing Bang Profit. You never know. The code word could be Bing Bang Profit. So just be careful. People are typing in already. Oscar, what's going on? Someone typed in Bing Bang Profit. Let's see. Maybe I'll use that code word tomorrow. I will use that code word tomorrow. But for today, the code word is Tradeify. Today, the code word is Tradeify. And said, please make it Bing Bang Profit. Tradeify. Type in Tradeify. Tomorrow we'll use Bing Bang Profit. That'll be cool. All right, Tradeify 50K growth. I know it's good because I remember when I first started watching the stream last summer, I remember Matt talking about these people a lot. Let's see. Okay. Get funded. What did I say it's called? 50K growth. Here we go. 50K. They got 3 choices. Growth, select, and lightning. Lightning's instant funding. So I guess you don't have to do an evaluation. All right. Growth 50K. Oh, look at this. This is great. This is a nice little account. Okay. It's got a $3,000 profit target. It's got a $2,000 max drawdown. End of day. It's got a daily loss limit of $12.50. I wonder why they do that. Because wouldn't they want people to blow it up? I'm surprised they have a daily loss limit. I guess maybe that stops, I don't know. Maybe that stops people from taking one big trade and passing it in one big trade. Maybe they don't want people to pass it in just a 1-to-1 or a 1.5-to-1 trade. I don't know. I'm sure there's some math behind why they have a daily loss limit. You'd think not having it would increase the blow up rate for people, but there's a daily loss limit, so that'll control you if you have an overactive amygdala and you can't control yourself. No consistency, no activation fee, and you could trade 40 micros. 40 micros with $2,000 drawdown, right? If you size up to that, you're crazy. I always say that. Crazy size available in these fundeds, in these prop accounts. Payout frequency every 5 days. You can have up to 5 accounts. This is in funded. 35% consistency. And the same drawdown and max daily loss. $2,000 drawdown, $12.50 max daily loss. So that's pretty cool. So if you don't win, use code Rocket Scooter. If you want to lower your risk on prop accounts, how do you lower your risk? Lower your cost. How do you lower your cost? Use code Rocket Scooter. Lord Kick said it helps people regulate over leveraging. People that consistently over leverage blow up faster. It's likely they'll do it again after the first DLL hits. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason. $165 entrants so far. This is the second giveaway of the stream. Our average view duration's nice and high. The people show up. The people stay. They hang out. I like that. The room shows up. Wait, what's going on? Why did mine... Uh-oh. My ninja locked up. Oh no, come on. Wait, what level are we at? $25,960. 25,960. Oh, that's not an entry for me anyway, so that's fine. 25,070. That's the only place where I'd be interested. That's way up there. Okay. Yeah, my Ninja Trader's locked up. Although, maybe just the data connection? Let me reset my data connection. Come on. Freaking Ninja Trader. Honestly, I'm pretty sure Ninja Trader 8 has been out for over 10 years. I don't remember ever using Ninja Trader 7. So, what? Like, it's been 10, 12 years I've had this Ninja Trader license, something like that. Maybe more. I've always had... Let me see, what year did Ninja Trader 8 come out? Are these guys ever going to develop a updated version? Just a little bit more efficient. Ninja Trader 8 release date. I don't remember having Ninja Trader 7. Ninja Trader 8 was released on November 15th, 2016. I wonder when I bought my Ninja Trader license. I think it was 2017. Let me see.
You came rolling in like a Sunday song. Showed me where
Ninja Trader. I got a folder. 2019. I'm just scrolling back. Oh, 2015. I've had my license since. So I guess I did use Ninja Trader 7. Well, it looked pretty similar to this. Oh, Kraken bought Ninja Trader? Yeah. I'd be screwed. I'd be screwed if Ninja Trader went away. Well, not screwed, but I put a lot of work into Ninja Trader. My stuff I use for it. It would be a real problem for me if it went away. Tradeify giveaway. Tradeify giveaway. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And also, today was the debut of my new little layout, so I have a whole area of my screen where I could see chat now. Adam K said, please announce the winner. You need to go to the bathroom. Adam K, my dog. You gotta bring up the stream on your phone. Like it from your stream. Like it from your phone as well. You know. PG contract. You got a lot programmed in Ninja as well. Yeah, like. I don't know. I'm invested in Ninja Trader. Let's see what else people said. Oh, ID 1610. Yes, I use the desktop version of Ninja Trader. Yeah.
Oh, how everything has changed. Scooter, I'll never trade the same.
10 minutes to mock.
Yeah, you brought me home. You gave me sight. Oh, scooter, rocket scooter. You made it all alright.
Wow.
Scooter, everything's changed.
All right, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Marmara, I just started copy trading last week, yeah. Someone's saying the stream's laggy. Is that everyone? It says it's healthy. Anyone having any issues with the stream? It's Burn Trade says no lag. No, I'm getting a lot of no's. The PG contract, you might want to minimize and refresh or restart your computer. Oh, guys, I got a funny story. Yeah, everyone's saying it's smooth. I got a funny story. I have a friend who works in IT, and he told me a story about he went to a client site that was an hour away. An hour away. It was like a small office. He went to a client site that was an hour away. The main person who like runs the company, it's just a very small office, was having a problem with their computer, and they were the only one in the office that day. It was a Dell computer, and the person, like, because my friend was like, restart the computer. The person couldn't get the computer to turn on. They were pressing the plastic Dell icon on the front of the computer, which was not a button. They were just pressing the plastic casing of the computer. I don't know what made me think of that. Someone said something in stream. But yeah, my friend drove an hour, and he called me. He's like, I just drove an hour, and someone was just pressing the plastic logo on their Dell computer. And I'm just like, oh boy. Farina said bad product design. Farina defending the person. Fair enough. It might have been bad person design though. That person might need a redesign. Wild Deuce is in the house. Boomer Trader said probably a boomer. Hey, listen, I didn't say it. You did. But yeah, probably a boomer. Rogue of the Lamb. Rogue of the Lamb in the house. What's up, Rogue? Sora Trades. Matt Evans. Adventure Rigs. What's up, Adventure? I get to see all the names during. A lot of people don't say anything until the giveaway time. Guys, I love when people participate in chat. It's fun. Don't be shy. We're a family. The room shows up. See, Christian said you had someone say backups weren't saving years ago, and they were putting a 5 1/4 inch floppy on the side of a filing cabinet with a magnet. It's funny. The files are inside the computer.
Check it. Check it a name in tonight. When the trades go up, the blessings come down. Testify, Scooter.
We're just so much. We're just layer upon layer of liquidity here. All so closer together.
Every candle look crooked. Fear was ruling my mind.
6 minutes to mock. All right, 20 seconds, and then we spin it.
Watch the DD band.
Tradeify, 50K. What did I say it's called? Tradeify 50K growth. I think I might eat sushi tonight. I might eat sushi and watch the rest of Dexter. Who suggested that? Someone suggested. I might watch the rest of the Dexter. All right, here we go. I started watching Industry too. That's cool. All right. Trade giveaway. All right, here we go. It's giveaway time. Time for the giveaway. We got over 333 people. Guys, can you smash the like button? All right. Giveaway time. About to spin. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.9, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, 0. I had to go decimals there. Jesus Leon 1. Use a winner. Adam, thank you for smashing it. Congrats. Congrats. Dogpedia. Rigged. Jesus in the house. Use a winner. Nice picture there on your account. Looks like you and your family member. All right. Congratulations. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to the link in the description. You're going to go to the link for the Discord. You're going to go to the contest channel in that Discord. Message an admin named Slacks with a picture of your YouTube ID. And he's going to do something. Chat, what's he going to do? Chat knows what he's going to do. He is going to hook you up. Martin got it. Adventure Rick's got it. Dogpedia got it. It's Burn Trades got it. AT Trades got it. Heather got it. He's going to hook you up. Congratulations. You're a winner. Message the admin named Slacks. He will hook you up.
Zooming down the chart on my rocket scooter, baby. Neon candles flickering, looking kind of wavy. Red Sea parting, blood in the streets.
Wait, the ninja... No, okay, ninja's not jammed up now. Wait, oh wait, I caught the end of the My Funded Futures TV channel stream. Mike H, you got in trouble for something. What'd you get in trouble for? I saw you got in trouble. You got like banned and then unbanned or something. I caught it. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on. I just kind of walked in on it. I think it was all in good fun though.
Paper hands crying on the timeline. I'm doing donuts in the bear market, feeling so fine. Diamond in the rough, nah, diamond in the crash. Every 90.
Yeah, I gotta say Mike H. I'm not gonna say that name. They got me once. They got me once. Mike's a naughty boy. Get Touched is in the house. Hopefully you're talking about a level. JB14's in the house. Don't reverse the order of that name. He should also wear Tory tank tops. I don't know what a Tory tank top is. What's a Tory tank top? Oh, I saw that person online. The Tory person. Man, that's, yeah. She sells like a course about drawing lines on a chart or something. I feel bad. Poor people. Poor people. People taking advantage of people out there. Crazy. That honestly, you know, that's one of, like, it's kind of cool how the boot camp's only $20. Like, that's, you know, that's like a gift to the community. I like that. That's how it should be. Not trying to scam people out there. I'd have probably fallen victim to it if all that stuff existed when I started, you know, because when you start, you're eager to learn, and like, I don't know, you know, how are you supposed to know what's garbage and what's not garbage if you don't know yourself? Like, you don't know what you don't know. So, yeah, poor people getting scammed out there. Let me tell you something. If someone's been trading for 10 years and they only trade a $500,000 account, you don't want to learn from them. I mean, that's just my opinion. You know, 10 years, 500 G's, that's all you come up with? Dude, you broke. That's, I mean, I'm not trying, I don't know. I'm just do the math. Like, you're making 50 G's a year trading, like, you should do something else. Damn, that was a small mock. That was a small mock. Pretty liquid spot here. I don't know if we got to this song yesterday. The song's gritty. We're gonna close right in the middle of the stable block, probably, huh? I will say this. Like, there's not many times, it's not often that I'm like, oh my God, like, I really want to see what happens at the open, overnight open. But tonight, I'm gonna keep an. I'm gonna set an alert. I'm gonna set alerts tonight because I don't know. Something is just telling me we're gonna rotate lower overnight, and I don't know if we'll stay there overnight. But I'm just gonna keep an eye. I'm gonna keep an eye out for possible rotation lower and maybe a short at 24,862 if we rotate lower and then we retest it. I'm gonna keep an eye on that, because what I don't want to have happen is for us to have really clean level respect for levels overnight, and then for me to wake up and be like, damn, should have watched the overnight action. And then like I still suffer from this. Like if I have a trade idea and then I miss it or something, I feel like I'm a step behind for the few trades that follow it. So I don't want to be in that situation. So just what I'm seeing on the chart right now, If we rotate higher, I won't be super excited to short. I'll wait for tomorrow's session to see how high we rotate to try to get in a short if we start to get really up high. If we start to get really high, because there's still a possibility that we have a quick 2-3 day rip your face off rally before we go low. Unlikely, but possible. But if today's rotation was more positioning by large players to capitalize on a lower market move, I think some of that, I think some rotation down might happen overnight. So I just want to keep an eye on it. I just want to keep an eye on that. So I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this market overnight. I did also observe, my observation was that liquidity picked up as we got lower in today's session. So that's another reason. I just think there's resting liquidity down below that we need to interact with. Maramaro, how do I trade Globex at open or wait for the market to simmer? It depends. It depends. Because sometimes you'll get an open Globex and after a minute or two, like, it becomes quite liquid and predictable. And sometimes it's very hollow and whipping around. And sometimes it's like sludge and nothing happens. So, like, that first hour or two of Globex can be quite tricky because the personality of that open has so many different variations, right? You know, like, I know the New York Open better because I've experienced it more. Like, I'm not in front of my computer watching Globex Open every day, but I watch pretty much every New York Open for the last, you know, over 10 years. I don't miss an open. I don't like to miss an open. More than almost 15 years. Oh, I am liquidity said there's a catalyst. There's possible catalyst at 4:25 p.m. Possible catalyst at 4:25 p.m. Well, there you go. Trump is talking. I wonder what the subject of it is. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I don't need to know. All right, so possible catalyst after market. There we go. It'll show up on the chart.
You're hammering that mouse like it owes you rent.
I traded London. I think it was on my birthday. I traded London Open this week. Or was it? No, my birthday was last week. Okay, hold on. No. Oh, it was last week. I traded in the middle of the night. Well, I think once this week and once last week. There's been a couple of times in the last couple of weeks where, like, I wake up at like 3:30 a.m., look at the chart, and it's like just going into a perfect level at London Open, and I've traded it. Yeah, I'm excited just to see the over, just to see, like, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna, I don't think we'll gap down. I just have a little feeling. I just have a little feeling. I don't know. Only 55%. I'm not putting on a swing or nothing. The level's not that far, so I don't know. I don't know. We could easily rotate higher too. I don't, you know, it's just a feeling, but I can't trade off of a feeling. But if we get some good levels, respect overnight, I'll see where the dynamics levels come up to. If dynamic hedge pressure is, or monthly hedge pressure is around 24,860, I'll be so excited. I'll be so excited. Minute to the close. It's burn trades. Nailed it in 3, 2, 1. That's the close. We're post move. We're still moving post close. Who do I got? Real Madrid or Man City? Man, I don't know. I don't follow it, but I mean, I still have my British passport. I'm a dual citizen, so I guess I gotta support the Brits. Take it easy, Em. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Get touched at Arsenal. Mañana. My guy. My guy. Oh, you're British as well? Nice. Rogue of the Lamb. Get touched. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up. The room shows up. If you were new here, welcome to the family. We're live every day, 3 times a day. We got a morning stream, afternoon stream, and an evening stream. The room shows up. Time for some snackers for me, so I'm going to be out. Until tomorrow, peace.
Screens glow like city lights, heartbeat caught in the candles rise. Ticks drift through the static haze, future whispers in dead waves. Charts breathe, pulse of